validate. So what's your ideology? That's cool to ask. But truth ain't decided by the loudest class. We question it all, no sacred ground. If it don't hold up, we break it down. This that set talk, yeah, we live in direct. No fear in the facts, just intellectual respect. No more, no mirror, no fantasy, just truth, logic, and consistency. Welcome to CED Talks, where we separate fact from fiction. Mess it up a minute every time. This that CED Talk, yeah, we set it straight. Cut through the noise, elevate the debate. No pseudo talk, no foggy claims. Just evidence-based when we build these frames. CED Talks, yeah, clarity first. If it ain't got method, it probably won't work. From ancient knowledge to modern science, we draw that line, that clear defined. They say the ancients had science. Hold up. Pause. Knowledge ain't the same as methodological laws. Observation, yeah, but control tests rare. No predictive models, you gotta be fair. We respect the past, but we keep it exact. Precision matters when you deal with facts. Astronomy grew, astrology split. One stayed empirical, one lean myth. The shift came through naturalistic method. Just standing of eyes, that's how we embed it. Not culture bound, not tied to a place. It's a universal tool for the human race. This got CED Talks, yeah, you said it straight. Cut through the noise, elevate the debate. No pseudo talk, no foggy claims. Just evidence based when we build these frames. CED Talks, yeah, clarity first. If it ain't got method, it probably won't work. From ancient knowledge to modern science, we draw that line, that clear defiance. They blur definition, start moving the goalposts. Turn fried to a claim that don't hold close. Science ain't known, this a process refined. Independent of culture, space and time. You can't redefine it to fit identity. That's how you lose all epistemic integrity. We test every claim, we don't just believe. If it can't be verified, we don't receive. From early observers to labs today, it's rigor and doubt that paved the way. Not name-dropping scholars to win a debate, but data and method that validate. So what's your ideology? That's cool to ask. But truth ain't decided by the loudest class. We question it all, no sacred ground. If it don't hold up, we break it down. This that CED Talk, yeah, we live in direct. No fear in the facts, just intellectual respect. No more, no mirror, no fantasy, just truth, logic, and consistency.
The universe is but a vast chain of cause and effect. Barong de Halba.
Yeah, pseudo killer. We're going under the hood, past the observation, into the code, the philosophy of the machine. Let's work. I'm viewing the world through a lens that's purely mechanistic. No room for the magic, it's logic and purely statistic. The slot shoot a blooper, saw the universe's gear, stripped the codes from the machine and replaced the mist with years of observation, calculation, cold hard dissection. Every movement in the cosmos is a physical connection. Man is a motor, a clockwork, a bone in the vein. Let's don't a log, I call a brooch, I'm isolating the brain. It's the call. No absolutes in the sight. Just the lens focused sharp in the middle of the night. Nothing a log I call naturalism, the rule of the game. We don't speak it forever, we just map out the frame. Come on the induction, probability is king. Science ain't a prophet, it's a thinking thing. Now into David Hume, the skeptic with the wrecking ball, telling you that certainty is headed for the heavy fall. Just cause the sun rose today don't mean it's guaranteed. That's the problem of induction, that's the intellectual seed. So we build on readability, we don't claim the throne. We're just navigating reality with the data we've grown. Science stays humble, keep the absolute on the shelf. It's a system that's designed to keep correcting itself. The Mettrie in the mix, yeah, he's calling us machines, bearing obey.
afternoon, and welcome to another CED Talks. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Let me shout out, see who's in the chat. Let me shout out everybody. Ghouls is here. The man himself, the God Killer. Chilimwe, peace. Ramon Bears, welcome to the chat. Chris MVP Harris is in the building. Good afternoon. Yeah, and we're here for another one. Let me take this down before we get into the show. Make sure I got it. Yes, that's who we're talking about today. King Sosa in the building. Peace. How's everybody doing? I play the Reggie diss track. All right, I'm gonna play the end of the show. Yeah. But you know what? We got the lab Saturday nights where we dissect them, we clip them up, and we put them through the forensic analysis. It is content. We don't worry anymore. We the A side. If they keep lying, we know what we're going to do with them. All right? We're going to put them in the lab Saturday night. Stay tuned. This Saturday, we're going to deal with the emotional Caterini with Clippers. Stay tuned for the lab Saturday night. Chef is on the examining table. The dissection will be complete. And so we will take them on one by one. Let them lie. Let them create their illusions. Without further ado, let's get into the subject for today. Welcome to CED Talks, where we break down the ideas. Sorry about that. Give me a second. Clip them up. Yeah, you know it. Welcome to CED Talks, where we break down the ideas that shape science, philosophy, and the way we understand reality. In today's episode, we arrive at a decisive turning point in the history of thought, where speculations give way to structure and metaphysics is replaced by matter. This is the moment philosophy stops asking what lies beyond nature and starts explaining everything within it. Today, we explore the radical world of the French materialists. Julien Offray de la Mettrie was so controversial for arguing that humans are purely biological machines that his book L'Homme Machine was publicly burned, and he had to flee France. Even in the Enlightenment, materialism was considered dangerous. Thinkers of the day: Paul-Henri Thiry Baron de Holbeck, systematic architect of atheistic materialism, argued for a fully deterministic law-governed universe, author of The Systems of Nature. Julien Offray de la Mettrie, early pioneer of biological explanations of consciousness, argued that humans are machines shaped by physiology, author of L'Homme Machine. If Descartes divided the mind and body, these thinkers erased the line completely. Those are our featured philosophers of the day. Now, let me paint the picture. We take for granted in 2026 the idea that you can call yourself an atheist. Let me take you back in time. The year 1776, and in contrast to the safety of the British Isles, where Hume could bring his thoughts to bear without the risk of real persecution. Contrast that with France, a state in turmoil, where the people in the streets are hungry and the Queen Marie Antoinette screams, "Let them eat cake." The guillotine is the number one tool for suppression of the people. In the underground late at night, these revolutionaries, the Mettrie and the Holbeck, with risk of life and limb, come up with the most provocational ideas, the ultimate daggers to the state. There is no soul. and man is but a machine, not above nature. Two daggers, the ultimate takedown of the state and the church. As I indicated in the opening, these books were so dangerous to the state. The reaction was so violent that they had to flee France, ultimately fleeing England, dying, ironically, in the court of a king, same king who his philosophies undermined and took the power away. You see, if you look at Mettrie, he wasn't an armchair philosopher like the rest of them. He wasn't a rich boy. He was a surgeon in the trenches in the war of the Austrian time. He saw the blood, the guts spilled. He saw the senseless death. He saw the fever of dysentery. So he was faced with the reality and the despair of human existence, questioning all things. He got a fever. And as a true intellect, analyzing his own system, he realized that the higher his fever got, the more delusional he became. And as his temperature subsided, he realized that his rationality came back. That was an inspirational moment. That was a moment when he realized if a mere temperature can alter my perception, mere rise in temperature can alter my perception, then there is no separation. I am just but a machine, part of this human existence. There is no separation. That was a dangerous thought in and of itself. We stand on the shoulders of men that had cojones. We stand on the shoulders of men who in the dark of the night were brave enough to write proclamations with spies and eyes looking all around them, having to flee their country, die in isolation, for the liberty of thought, for the liberty of mind, and the freedom of man in general. Viva la liberté. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. I'm going to let that resonate just for a second before I go into the presentation. So today we're going to talk about the French Materialists. Now we've set the backdrop. Now we're going to go into breaking down what contributions and these thoughts actually meant to science. Yet again, in this exercise, we have seen that it is philosophers, thinkers, that contributed most significantly to the establishment of what we understand as science. Science is methodological naturalism. Science exists within constraints established by philosophers. Philosophers established the building which produced later on scientists. Let there be no confusion, let there be no unnecessary arguments, no distortion about what reality is. This is why we are in this exercise. Scientific literacy teaches you to recognize the flim-flammers, scammers, hoodwinkers, and hustlers in the community. Without further ado, let's get into the presentation. Share your screen, boy. Entire screen, boom, share. There you go. Welcome to another CED Talks. Today, the French Materialists. Matter, motion, and the death of the soul. Who lives as a citizen may write as a philosopher, but right as a philosopher, it is to teach materialism. Julien Offray de la Mettrie. Paul-Henri Thiry, Baron de Holbeck. The universe is a closed deterministic system of matter in motion. The system of nature, Holbeck argues, everything that exists is material. It is. Everything that happened has a cause. All fundamental forces interacting produces cause and effect. Nature operates by fixed laws, gravity, and the four fundamental forces, and all the other laws that we have since discovered and established by means of the scientific method. There is no soul, no supernatural realm, no external designer interfering. This is 1776. You realize that we still fight this battle today. Science has given us many instruments. However, there are aspects of the human psyche, the human being, that will persist no matter how much of a reality proves the contrary. It is what it is. Scientific literacy, though, helps you to move away from these stigmas that block the mind. Scientific impact. This aligns directly with classical physics. Cause and effect. Newton. Deterministic systems. We understand simply that if you have two molecules of hydrogen and you have one molecule of oxygen, they are going to react in a particular way to give you one molecule of water, H2O. The assumption behind all science, deterministic systems, is that events have natural explanations. That's why the moment you consider something to be supernatural and it falls within the realm of measurability, it has therefore become part of the natural world. So yes, there may be things that today are considered supernatural, and our ability to examine other aspects of reality may bring these things into the realm of nature. Until such time, they remain arbitrary assertions, supernatural assertions, and metaphysical claims. Let's continue. The Holbeck didn't just remove God from the universe, he made God unnecessary. Science makes no claim for or against the supernatural. Methodological naturalism makes no assumptions, no claim for or against the supernatural. It is unnecessary for our exercise of understanding reality. It simply is. Julien Offray de la Mettrie. The mind is what the body does. Remember his fever bout? L'homme machine. La Mettrie takes it further. Drawing from medicine and psychology, he observed. Remember, he was a surgeon. Brain damage changes personality. Boom. Chemicals alter thoughts. He must have was one of them early experimenters. No, again, he was a surgeon, so he was probably using anesthetics, raw forms and rough forms of morphine, etc., in his exercises. But he realized chemicals alter thought. Physical states affect consciousness. His fever bout, he realized that he was getting delusional. Maybe Reggie had a fever earlier because the level of delusion was off the chain. So he concluded the mind is not separate from the body. It is produced by it. The mind is an emergent property of matter. It's an emergent property of the chemical interactions in the brain. Scientific impact. This becomes the foundation of what we call neuroscience, cognitive science, and biological psychology. neuroscience, cognitive science, and biological psychology rest on the fact that we are dealing with materialists. Now you can see where this is all going. We are going to eventually see the confrontation with Julien Descartes. No, René Descartes. My bad. No français, notre pays. I feel the French accent coming on because I'm dealing with the French naturalists. Cognitive science today. We have a discipline developed on the fact of the mind being a byproduct of the brain. Still, we out here in these YouTube sheets debating astral travel, astral projection. 1776, ladies and gentlemen. Is 2026. 1776, 2026. Do the math quick there for me, somebody. Put it in the chat. Mettrie didn't argue that humans have minds. He argued that humans are machines that think. Yes, there is no you that has a body. When you look at that person in front of you, you see a complete system. When you think about yourself, you think of if you are somewhere inside controlling this machine. That is an illusion. A necessary one. Has to do with your body budgeting. Shout out to the Brain Show. We want the Brain Show. We want the Brain Show. Let that sink in for a second. He argued that humans are machines that think. We don't have minds. Where's the me that has the mind? When it's the mind that creates the illusion of the me. The destruction of dualism. This was a direct challenge to René Descartes. Remember, René Descartes firmly rooted God back into reality by means of reasoning, and he smuggled it in. He smuggled God back in on the back of what you call that? I lose the word now. Abstract actuality. Yes. Abstract actuality, meaning these geometric shapes, they are what they are regardless if you have one in front of you. When you think of a triangle, it is what it is. When you manifest a triangle, it is going to have the same dimensions that coexist with the framework that is in the abstract, in the thought, which allowed for us to model reality based on mathematics. However, he used that to smuggle in a presupposition, arbitrary metaphysical claim. And his French counterparts, René Descartes is part of the system. He's part of the aristocrats. And these two fellas are blue-collar gentlemen in the trenches with the people, in the mud. They challenged that straight up. Descartes says mind and body are separate. How did he prove that? He did it. He asserted it because he was a natural philosopher, and it's his job to do that at that point in time. There was no scientific method by which scrutiny and examination was to occur. You're gonna give me a break? There's a truck passing. It's a bunch of noise. Give me a second. It'll take a second to pass. I'm not coming out because I'll play some music for a second.
Yeah, pseudo killer. We're going under under the hood, past the observation, into the code, the philosophy of the machine. Let's work. I'm viewing the world through a lens that's purely mechanistic. No room for the magic, it's logic and purely statistic. The slot shoot a blooper, saw the universe's gear, stripped the codes from the machine and replaced the mist with years of observation, calculation, cold hard dissection. Every movement in the cosmos is a physical dimension. Man is a motor, a clockwork, a bone in the vein. Less on a log, I call approach, I'm isolating the brain. It's the call. No absolutes in the sight. Just the lens focused sharp in the middle of the night. Nothing they log I call naturalism, the rule of the game. We don't speak it forever. We just rap out the frame. Come on the induction, probability is king. Science ain't a prophet, it's a thinking thing. Now into David Hume, the skeptic with the wrecking ball, telling you that certainty is headed for the heavy fall. Just cause the sun rose today don't mean it's guaranteed. That's the problem of induction, that's the intellectual seed. So we build on real ability, we don't claim the throne. We're just navigating reality with the data we've grown. Science stays humble, keep the absolute on the shelf. It's a system that's designed to keep correcting itself. The Mettrie in the mix, yeah, he's calling us machines. Bearing tollback, dropping systems, defining the scene. Keep the who out the how, keep the method in the lane. We ain't arguing the spirit, we're just measuring the lane. It's a specific epistemical branch, the root of the view. If it can't be measured, it's a different interview. So the killer on the mic, breaking down the framework. Philosophy is science now, going to the brainwork. Point of absolutes, high availability. This is the foundation, the engine is running.
Okay, for the third time, with my volume on again. Something said check it. So, like I said, René Descartes, part of the establishment, he did two things. He smuggled God back into the equation, which gave him and the state a little bit breathing room. And also, he said, you know what, we can be wrong, so you don't need to chop my head off. Remember, the guillotine is running rampant. These men are responsible for the state looking ridiculous, right? Because these are the philosophers. These are the owners of knowledge. Philosophers. And of course, he had the room to be wrong. There's no scientific method. There's nothing to challenge or test his claims. So he decided mind and body are separate. French philosophers say, nope. The whole Beck and Mettrie respond, show us the mind without the brain. Go ahead. I'll wait. I'm still waiting. Go ahead. You see the pose? You see the posture? That's the kind of face I have sometimes. Like, I'll wait. The destruction of dualism. 1776, approximately. We are in the year 2026. Astral projection. The spirits told me. I was picking up God. spoke to my soul. 1776. Go ahead. I'll wait. The unified position was no immaterial substance. Yes, subatomic particles are material. Quantum entanglement is material. Black holes is material. Dark matter is material. Dark energy is material. Yes, I said it. Yes. I hear you arguing with me. Wait for it. The last one is coming. Space-time is material. There is no immaterial substance. All within space-time and space-time itself is material. No ghost in the machine. Fuel the machine, break the machine, break the brain. No ghost. No soul. No ghost in the machine. There is none. You can argue. You can jump. You can roll over. You can do everything you want to do. There is no ghost in the machine. Each one of us, most of us, have experienced some altered state of mind. If a mere chemical substance can alter your state of mind, can change your personality, can produce a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, then by all means, you must understand there is no ghost in the machine. No supernatural explanations. This is Hume on roids. Why on roids? Again, they are not in the comfort, in the tranquility of the Scottish Isles that have already told the establishment to F off. The big middle finger that Hume gives to the establishment from across the British Isles, where he's safe to fall in a puddle and be rescued by means of a prayer. These two individuals, their outcomes were significantly different. The environment that they were in was not of a passive nature. It was not of the luxury from an armchair that they could sit and philosophize. Dark Parisian streets late at night, flickering candles with spies everywhere. The Gestapo out looking for the insurgents. These insurgents were mental insurgents, revolutionaries, the undermining of the state and authority without a gun. Heroes. Only physical process governed by natural laws. So now why this matters for science? I'm having a whole philosophical breakdown here, talking about these dead white men as if they are my heroes, which they are. But why does it matter for science? That's why we're here. These thinkers establish a rule that science still follows today. Besides the pivotal interjection of the human as a biological specimen being able to be studied, the Mettrie. If something happens, there is a natural cause. If you experience an impression, it is because it is caused by natural causation. The four fundamental forces interacting. Even if we don't know it yet, dark matter, dark energy. Lex, can't do that. No, 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 no. See how easy it is to get you? No invoking of spirits explains disease. No invoking soul explains thought. No invoking God to explain nature. In this area and time still, disease was explained by spirits. Descartes said his thoughts were generated by the soul, and seeing the soul is connected to the divine, that means his thoughts are connected by the divine, so that he can, if he can imagine a triangle in its dimension, as true as that thought is, so true is the thought of God, because the soul is connected to the God. That natural philosopher that said those things played a pivotal role in the establishment of the scientific framework called methodological naturalism. These were philosophers. Has the conversation ended whether these are scientists or not? Mettrie was a surgeon and a philosopher. You understand what type of surgeon he was in 1776. Right? Let's be honest. Their exercise is that of thought. This man was operating as a surgeon at the time when people thought the body belonged to the soul. It was a mere vessel of thought. Again, radicals, extraordinary, brave men. Most of us won't kick up a storm in a family setting. You bow down, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. These men stood up in a time where their heads were ching, zoom. And the irony, when they chop off your head, they got a priest there. This is where explanations become investigations and mystery becomes a problem to solve, not a place to hide. God of the gaps. I don't know, God did it. How you want me to know God did it? Look around you, the trees. God did it. Where earlier philosophers questioned, these thinkers concluded no soul, no supernatural, no metaphysical escape, just matter, just motion, just nature. A tightening of the parameters, a further application of constraints on how we investigate nature. The framework in which you are allowed to operate. You're not coming around the corner, finding phenomena and asserting that it's some supernatural agent did it. You're not going to look at the trees and say, what a beautiful thing God did when he touched it with his hands. Can I get an amen? He ain't doing that. We are going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to investigate. We're going to understand and we're going to go through the rigors required to engage with nature and reality on its terms. The question is no longer whether the mind is separate from the body. The question is, why did we ever believe it was 1776, 2026? Says something about our collective minds as human beings. With the preponderance of evidence in front of us, we still go the opposite direction. And that's the CED Talk for today. I hope y'all like this one, because this one was a cool one. This one was a cool one. This one was a cool one. And it is at this moment, I think I'm going to get some pushback today, though. I think I'm going to get some pushback today. I think much like on this one, this is going to see some cognitive dissonance, I am sure. I am sure it is going to see some cognitive dissonance. Oh. I put the link in the chat if anyone wants to get up here. Tell me what you think, what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like the show, share the show. And I'm gonna do I gotta do this one. I gotta do this one for Booze.
What's your ideology? Seems to be the question round here lately. Every discussion rooted in blackology, fueled by the lack of integrity. Case in point, the so-called rejection, misleading the people, high-level foolery, smash, come of us, king's monologue. It must be a conspiracy. Nostalgia got him stuck in the past, always reliving history. Ask Dr. Ben and Clark, say their names, his eyes spark. All one big fantasy, smoke and mirrors, only confusion, no clarity. The nigga prologue crazy. Van Serma and Rashid. Now they teaching God energy, but that's another story. Reggie out here seeking glory. For him it's about his legacy. Highest little movement ended prematurely. Reggie was denied his opportunity. He signed at the feet so surely. It was meant to be his destiny to the king of psychology. That's your ideology. Seems to be the question round here lately. Confirmation bias, poor research quality, cherry picking data. That's a tragedy. Call yourself a scholar, then it's a travesty. You know what's right. Keep it trying to make science black. Who's confuses science with technology? Reggie, is this your idea? Everything will flee for blackology. A black city plan. Let me not digress. Don't wanna get lost in that mess. Even the skin map Reggie tried to contest that affected him emotionally. Reggie came loaded with more pseudo foolery. Yet another battle he lost horribly. Obviously, Reggie, you're not ready.
Shout out to Reggie. Reggie. Reggie, you know what's gonna happen to you in the lab, right? Now you know we're gonna clip you up and dissect your lies. I mean, everybody understood what was going on. Let me just give the backstory because Reggie likes to create these narratives, and the more he tells the story, it seems like he convinces himself of the truth, right? So Reggie was first of all, this goes back to the King J Ashe debate, where we realized that at the end of the debate, it became a title issue because they were arguing two separate things, right? Ashe was claiming to argue for African science, yet everything he argued with regards to African science was just universal principles, just things that people do. Tracking, hunting. He talked about surgery, minor surgery. These are all universal principles, which is part of human development, right? Indigenous technology all over the world. He equated that to African science and then tried to
Excuse
make
me,
the
get it
leap
real
to
quick.
connect that to modern science. King J
Water.
articulated and put the debate down accurately.
No,
The
no, no,
way
no, no.
the
The,
way he the way he put down the debate, right, was accurately. We have always been talking about modern science. They started to do the whole conflation with African science and Africans. There is Africans. We understand what African science is. That attempt to equate African science to modern science. That was the issue. The collapsing of the word and creating a narrative which wasn't true. So I got an article from an African scholar who was examining, quote unquote, what this African science is. What African science is in indigenous traditional knowledge. That is what the article was illustrating. And it says nothing wrong with tech, just like the Chinese who have systemized and put a method to their indigenous traditional practices. This is something that the author was suggesting to provide indigenous traditions with more reproducibility and more standardization to have it introduced via a scientific process into the curriculum. I was not up there to undermine anybody. I was up there to have a coherent conversation. If I bring up an article with the title saying African science, then you think it is worthy for us to go through this article already? You claim to be a scholar and didn't have the integrity to simply go through the article. You wanted to do as if you were going to do a gotcha moment and a win. Reggie, you are going to be abused for a very long time because I caught you lying now as well. You're a blatant liar. You're a scammer, a flim-flammer, and a liar. Like, couldn't be at least have the integrity to steel man my position. I was up there to put African science in its proper context and frame this whole discussion correctly because all you were attempting to create a straw man and take us down the road of a red herring. But your integrity or the lack of it, Reggie, is why you did what you did. Of course, if I'm saying there's no African science and I'm bringing an article that says African science, no, we will put in African science in its proper context in relation to the conversation that was being had. The fum, fam, 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 the flim flam that you and Ashe was attempting to do. Move the goalpost and do as if African science is equal in methodology and system to modern science when we know it's indigenous traditional practices. Come on, Reggie. You got to do better than this. At this point, Reggie, what else do you expect but me to take you completely down? I'm going to run you out of this community. I promise you that. You're a fraud. Kissing my birds, it's a trick, Reggie. You can't kiss a bird, but it's a trick. You know why? Because you develop that by operant conditioning. It's a trick. It's a trick, Reggie. And my lupus is autoimmune. It doesn't mean that I'm prone to catching infections, Reggie. Your ignorance is. God killer, you got the floor. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we need people like him in the community to beat up on him personally. It's easy work. He read that article, and you had like one person jumped on there and started trying to defend the foolery, and he couldn't read the article. He read it, didn't understand it. It's amazing to me, bro. I got tape though. It's all good. And the fact that he didn't let the daggone, he should just let the video play. Why did he feel the need to jump into the middle of the video, right? That should have just played, yo. We can get the clear ready. We can't even get the clear tape. So now I'm going to get something there to send me the clear video so we can just play it all the way through. Let the people decide, bro. You don't got to moderate through the whole thing. It's crazy. And then I got on there and it's just ridiculous, bro. So we know what it is. It's comprehension issues, yo. We really, truly can't read. Reading comprehension, yo, is key to reading, bro. So it's crazy. Like the article is saying African science, bro, which is really traditional. It said all that. I can't believe it's crazy, bro. Banana.
I'm sitting there listening to the show, and I'm like, Reggie's just blatantly lying. He's issuing a challenge to the pseudo killers to come and prove that African science isn't science. African science isn't science. So if African science was science, it would have just been called science. That was the whole point that King J was making. Gravity is gravity wherever you measure it. There is no African science in that aspect. There's only science. And you can do the Western science or modern science thingy. That's not the point. It is simply science. So if you say African science, then there must be a unique way of measuring gravity in this African context. You take a Maasai warrior and you throw him off the back of an Egyptian and you check the rate at which he falls. Must be something like that. Because it's either science or it's not. And the whole point of bringing that article was to illustrate that African science is indeed indigenous traditional knowledge and is distinct from the conversation we are having. But this goes in line with the whole crew's linear thinking, and they want to play as if Africans were doing messy observations, right? So a lot more observations. Eventually, it's going to grow into modern science. I don't know how to describe that level of ignorance. And at this point, you're blatantly scamming because there's no way you didn't understand this from all the videos, all the work that we've been doing, that you're still going to double down on that blatant lie. The reason I went with an article titled African Science was to illustrate that there is no one-on-one equation with science. They are talking about indigenous traditional practices, and they even split it in two. The one aspect is completely the spiritual and indigenous practices, and the other is those that combine the two. He's going to do a tradition, bathe you, and send you to the doctor to get your Advil. They also illustrated that when they go out and they be trained in the Western system, but have this indigenous frame of mind that everything is ethnocentric, they keep it within and not make it public. What you get is issues that doctor come up with a cure for HIV without any type of scientific backing, and we saw the consequences of that. So all of this was being discussed in the article. There was no gotcha moment from my part. There was no attempt to undermine Reggie. I'm going up there with an article that says African science. And Reggie is so infantile and ignorant to say, it says it right there in the title, science. Oh my God. Ridiculous.
Reggie can't read. Reggie can't read. Reggie can't read. Reggie can't read. Can you hear me?
He's scamming. He's scamming. At
Yeah,
this
got
point,
it.
what
Got
else
that
you want to
point.
say?
Yeah,
He's
we
out
can.
there blatantly lying. You can hear
Yeah.
it in his voice, right? Because he starts to do this, and because Reggie, you're not even, you wouldn't have made it in the streets because you can't lie. You'd have got shot. You
I
can't
don't know.
lie. I'm sitting on the other side of a computer screen and listening to you lie. There's this thing though, this habitual liar thing that I'm seeing develop. This red line. You have Brass, habitual liar. Chef, habitual liar. You have Corey, habitual liar. That's Tupiz, habitual liar, and Reggie, habitual liar. That's a gang.
Oh, you mean the
Habitual liar.
polymath? He the teacher, the polymath, the professor. Yeah, he teach you over there.
Yeah,
Polymath.
yeah, expert by proximity.
And then, you know, he tried to argue with me today that because he has a bachelor in science, that means he got a degree in science. I was like, what?
Man,
I'm gonna ride him for that.
yeah, computer
Until
tech,
he concede, he had to concede on something, bro.
computer
pick,
and outdated.
bro.
Computer tech and outdated computer tech. Floppy
Man.
disk era. You know, they don't even have them things anymore. They got thumb drives now.
You don't tell me I brought up his. I didn't bring up your damn education. You put it on me. Talking about I can't read because I don't got a degree. You can only comprehend if you get a degree. I was like, what?
That type
You ain't
of
gonna tell me. You ain't gonna tell me that I don't got no Social Security. What, bro? Bro, you pay Social Security through your business that you own, and you can get Social Security through working. Taking out the man, it's just crazy, yo.
oh my God, this
I
man
mean,
is
come on,
wild.
yo.
Like,
Bro.
and at this point, you know he's lost. If you are going to try and now pretend that you're an immunologist, Reggie, I work in biochemistry. I run immunology, immunochemistry. That's my thing, Reggie. And that statement you made is again utter ignorance. Like utter ignorance. First of all, I ain't kissing no bird. It's a trick, dummy. That's the most ridiculous thing right there. I ain't kissing no bird. That's a trick. Number two, what does my autoimmune have to do with a bird? Like that's so ridiculous,
I think
bro.
we're just getting mean at this point.
Yeah.
Everybody get mean. It shouldn't reduce to that point, yo. But I tell you what, I'm never getting off him about this article, bro. Hey, pull the article up. You got it?
I should have. Let me see. It should be in my database here. Gideon, what you say?
What's up, man? What's going on, man?
Boy.
Man, you know how I get, bro, when people be trying to play games with the knowledge, bro, like trying to insult your intelligence and then trying to make you look like you the bad person. I get real offended.
Well,
So I'm in the chat and I'm going off, and Suntan be like, "No, I need to calm down, relax, relax." So what? I'm in the chat. I can't even be heard. I could only be read.
Right.
What I need to relax for?
it's like they
It's
all
the slightest thing, bro. Like, yo, so what I'm saying in the chat is so offensive to you that you gotta tell me to relax because you know I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, they wild out,
That
bro.
these dudes are dummies. That they playing games. You got one dude saying, "Oh, see, it said African science. It's contemporary. So it's contemporary. Bitch, you know what contemporary means?
Listen, it even said both. It said it explained two different types, right? And both of them was fell short. Remember that?
Mhm.
Basically,
Right.
they was talking about proto-science. It's basically proto-science. Whenever you see traditional ecological systems, that's like proto-science, right? And if you know, proto-science is not science, though. See, proto-science is not science, though. So that's that's why
Right.
they try to run from proto-science because they know proto-science is not science. It clearly puts it where it's supposed to be at, but that's okay. It's okay.
But how is African science contemporary with modern science?
Huh?
How is African science contemporary with modern science?
Right,
It's
if
not
it's science.
contemporary.
If it's
It
science.
simply
No,
is.
yeah, dude said Michael didn't say
Well,
that.
what it's basically saying is that they practice traditional African
No,
science.
no, no, not the
Oh,
article. The dude saying that. He's saying that. The article
oh,
ain't saying that. He's saying that.
oh, oh man. No, it's but it did say something about contemporary something. that is not
yeah,
still even the contemporary version of African science is not up to par. I said that too.
yeah, they talk about the two old versions are contemporary, not contemporary with science right now, bro.
Yeah,
No, listen. It said that there's a more modern version of it, bro.
yeah,
Exactly,
yeah. A
But
more
it's
modern
not.
version.
But it's still not up to par. You get it?
Yeah, because
exactly.
now instead of having to make the rum from the cactus, they have the bottle of Bacardi, right? So they upgrade. Now they got real cigars what they buy in shops. So there's a modern aspect to the traditional culture. So when you go and engage in these traditional practices, you're going to see a lot of modern elements, right? You're going to see you're not going to see a calabash, for example. You might see a steel bowl, or you might
Hmm.
an actual bottle of rum. So there are very modern elements entwined in it, right? Doesn't mean that the practice itself is modernized. You can't modernize that practice, but you change it up a bit, right?
Right.
You instead of bringing 3 goats, now you need to bring $300. Yeah,
Stupid, yo.
yeah. Come on, man. I live in the
You got
Caribbean,
another
bro.
one
Who you
come out there
talking to?
talking about Arab science and European science. Like, what
Yeah,
are we
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, bro? What is that?
European science. That would be the Gauls and the Celts and the Druids. That's European science because that's pertaining to their culture and only applicable in their environment. And then you can't call it European. You would have to talk about the specific cultures and their cultural containers if you want to keep this thing in proper context. Because the
Right.
moment we start talking about modern science, that's a world thing. It is data collected from around the world. It's a
Thank you, sir.
world endeavor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It culminates in Europe. So what? Those were the people with the big boats going everywhere. History is what it is. Don't cry
Those
about
were the people actually documenting stuff.
it. So now what I have to be a revisionist? I have to tell a narrative that isn't factual to do what? To appeal to Reggie's ideology? I have to lie? Is that what we're doing?
Like the
Is that
man
what we're
read it,
doing?
metaphysics and
Not at
all
all.
these things. Religion.
It said it in the article. It talked about metaphysics in
Yeah,
the article.
bro. Yeah. And I'm listening to him read the thing, and it's like he's trying to gloss over it. Like, don't gloss over it, bro.
Yeah, like you didn't just read
Stay
that.
strong on that. Stay strong on that, like you staying
And when
strong
you
on the
ask
rest
him
of
to
it.
pull it back, when you ask him to pull it back, he 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 pretends as if he can't read it. What do you want me to? What do you want me? What do you want me to read? As soon as I pull up in the chat, Reggie starts stuttering. Oh,
You know what was funny? You know what was funny, Cedric, when Unc said, let's read the article. Let's read the end of it. The what you call it? The end
The
of it. Where it
conclusion.
reads
conclusion.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Conclusion.
the conclusion, right? So he's like, let's read the conclusion. Let me say what it mean, let you say what it mean, and then let's put it in chat GPT. Ready life? Yo, that was
for?
funny.
What do that for? What you gonna do that for?
Yo,
Reggie
it's like a hit
blatantly
dog. It's
lying.
like a
That's
hit
when he was
dog, you
scared.
know what I'm saying?
Like like if I'm saying there is no African science, you think I'm gonna come with an article with African science right on the head? That wasn't the discussion. The discussion
Yeah,
was
that
your
man said
flim
no.
flam.
Hold on, man. Hold on. I knew he wasn't gonna go for it, right? That's why I said, yo, I want to get him on tape, Cedric. I say, cause we, I say we'll just get him later. I'm gonna set him up. That man said, no, we're not gonna do that. I ain't gonna lie, yo.
What the
I ain't
hell?
gonna lie to you. I need to stop, yo. I'm
Brad
just gonna
say,
stop. I need to
Brad
stop
say,
messing with Reggie
Brad
like that,
say,
yo.
if his chat GPT says one thing and your chat GPT says another thing, it just means that your chat GPT has different perspectives.
No, I told him I ain't
Yo,
care what
listen,
I ain't care what ChatGPT
I got
told me.
weeks. I got weeks of the lab already lined up. I am going to have fun. I am going to have fun dissecting these dudes, bro. When you play the clip and you actually isolate what they're saying, you know how dumb and ignorant they sound. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
well, I'll tell you what. My next show gonna be on Reggie Can't Read. Reggie Can't Read.
Yeah, that's a new song now.
Yeah, you gotta make a song that says Reggie Can't Read. Reggie Can't Read.
That was funny. That man
What's
hollered
your
like a hit dog.
ideology? Seems to be the question
I was like, well, damn, what's wrong with that?
round here lately. Every
Huh?
discussion.
Oh, you wipe that down. I'm a great wiper down. I wipe it down every day.
Fueled by the land.
Don't worry about it. You gotta do it like you feel. It's all good.
Case in point,
Now don't you mess the table up with Lysol.
Reggie,
Clean though.
misleading the people. High level foolery.
Yes, ma'am. Gotcha.
Reggie's scamming.
There you go.
Reggie's
Well,
scamming. Reggie's scamming the people. Come on, Reggie. You gotta do better than this. You really gotta do better.
you know what though, yo?
Come on first.
Listen, man.
Go ahead.
All jokes aside, yo, Reggie, that's my homeboy. Everybody, that's my man, yo. But at the end of the day, yo, I cannot let him get away with this. I can't, yo. We can't. I think he's a good person. When it comes to this, though, he got to stay out the way, yo.
Yeah,
He got to stay out the way, bro. Because that
Yeah,
paper
man.
just killed him. He dead on the paper.
Right
He
there.
done.
Got him.
God.
Got him.
I mean, not the fake got him.
No,
We got
got
some
him. Got him.
fake got him. Like, really got him.
This is a got him. And I knew it. I was like, Reggie, first of all, y'all are being disingenuous. Y'all know what the debate was, and y'all flim-flamming. Ashay's arguments in the debate is not isolating to indigenous African traditions. Everything he's talking about is universal to mankind. So he doesn't know what science is, number one. Those things he are talking about are not specific to Africans. Those are universal principles, right? The whole conversation gets shifted now to African science is science. No, Reggie, African science does not equate to modern science. Look in the article right here. It is making that separation. It is clearly distinguishing modern science from what African traditions are, Reggie. That's the whole point. The point was not to prove that there is no African science because I understand how those terms are being used. The way you were trying to use the term by that false equivocation, collapsing the meaning of the word in a singular definition, and then saying they were doing science. Not that they had science; they were doing science. Doing science is a modern endeavor. It is the acquisition of knowledge based on the framework created by methodological naturalism. These people weren't doing science, right? And that's the flim flam. Why though? Why? It's your ideology. Nothing else makes you alike.
So they doing proto science. You can hear me, right?
Yeah,
And so they doing proto science. They doing traditional work, ecological, indigenous social systems, bro. Medicine. They practicing medicine,
Yeah.
And so that paper was just basically saying, yo, first he said, I'm lying. The paper ain't said about the university. Then he read the conclusion and say, yeah, we need to take it into the university. Then he yells out, they teach it at the university. I said,
Nope.
I said, bro.
Can't read.
They just they want to check it out. Yo, You bugged out. And of course, why wouldn't Africans in a school teach about their traditional system, yo? Like, they do that in Nairobi, right? They teach the author put the scenes and evolution and alongside each tribal story. Why wouldn't they do that, bro? The
Yeah,
same way they
why
do it in
wouldn't you
America. They
want your
teach
stuff
Christianity.
scrutinized?
They
Listen,
teach Christianity, right? And then they teach, evolution.
you go to a hospital in China. I have a friend, he's a physical therapist, and he went to the university, Open University in Amsterdam, and learned acupuncture as a discipline, a 2-year study. I know where to put the needles. I've studied the meridians. I know the philosophy behind it. Your liver is heat, so when you produce too much heat, your body needs to cool down. That's why too much laughter produces tears. There's a whole yin and yang philosophy behind it. It's traditional Chinese
Yeah.
medicine taught in a collegiate setting. The philosophy, the application, everything. We could do that with indigenous tradition African practices as well. This is where the article is leading to. So if we would have had the discussion, it would have ended up being a very beautiful, holistic conversation.
Yeah. If it was done, that's why you got to literally beat up Africa. You ain't got no choice. You have to beat it up. You got
Yeah, like,
seriously,
bro,
yo.
you're misrepresenting the debate. Number two, you're
Yeah,
messing up the conversation and you're
yeah,
being disingenuous. Look here, this is what African science is, Reggie. It is just like saying Caribbean science or St. Martin
yeah,
science because I go
yeah.
by the
Right.
witch doctor and get a bath.
Right.
Come on, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, he playing. That was funny, yo. We
That
don't
that
get
was
him. He wide
completely
open
non
now. He
sequitur.
done.
Yeah, it was non sequitur to the discussion we were having.
You know why
Non
he?
sequitur.
Oh, hold on, yo. You know when you're wrong. He's so wild that he jumped out the window. He don't even let the thing play. I told Southern to let the clip play. Let the our section play separate video. He dive out the. he trying to explain to you why you trying.
For a whole
Why you trying?
hour.
Why you trying to explain?
For a whole hour. Trying to get
So
the
look,
damn thing
so,
to
so look,
Go
Gideon,
back.
I bait him. Look, Gideon, I bait him. I say, yo, why don't you just let video play? I know if I say that, he not gonna let it play. He never was, but I just make him even more not let it play, right?
Mhm.
Man, look, bro. He played that, start commenting on that, then he done. He's stick a
No,
fork in it now, boy.
no.
He's
Like
a roast. He's a roast. He
when
roasting
you
him up.
yeah when he saw me pop up in the chat, you could time it. Reggie started to stutter, couldn't get his words out. I'm like, oh,
Look, he
got it.
muted you out. He muted you out. You ain't supposed to mute Reggie out. I mean, you ain't supposed to mute Cedric out. It was my turn. No, it wasn't yours. I ain't mad at Reggie though, yo. I'm just mad at him on this topic, yo.
And I wasn't planning on staying up there. Right? It just popped up. I was gonna say my state and out of there. I got my own show to do. I
Right.
just the fact that I had him rattle in the chat. I said, watch when I jump up on the pack.
Rattle.
and as soon as you left like, yeah, Unc going over to his own show cause he can't stay here and like, come on, man. Y'all gotta stop that, bro.
Yeah, stop that, man. I ain't staying there. Come on, man.
Nobody wanna stay around all that damn foolishness and bunch of
But
lies.
but what you won't do is hit the link and come into an environment like this because
Uh-huh.
it's a different environment. That's what you're not gonna do. You're gonna stay over there where you got the support in the chat,
That's
making
Reggie
it.
home court, right? That's
Yeah,
his home court.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Look. He mutes my mic. Look what I can
He
do.
wasn't supposed. He wasn't supposed to do that. That's
Yeah,
wrong. He ain't
look what
supposed to
I
mute your
can do.
mic.
I can mute my mic. I can mute his mic. Like, bro, really?
He ain't
I
supposed to
didn't
mute your
even
mic.
interject. I waited till I got an opening. Sarnetta saw me. He knew I was going to speak.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he wants to. I didn't know he. I didn't know he muted your mic. He know he wrong for that, yo.
Mhm.
He
He
can't
got
run though, yo. He put too much on tape now, boy. He better just scrap. He
he
can't
got
scrap
nervous
nothing.
again.
Reggie
He
And then
got
he
Terry.
look. Then he double explained it, yo.
yeah.
He double triple down on it
No,
now.
no, he
There's
attacked
no way out of it.
and he attacked the author now. So Reggie, from his armchair
Then he ain't
in
agree
New
with the
York,
author.
is trying to undermine the credibility of an anthropologist in his own country. Dang, Reggie is a real polymath.
But you know what? I could see a little bias on that author's part too, though. You'll notice that, that it'd be that though, that bias up in there too, though. Remember, Remember?
Yeah, because this is not a clinical examination, right?
Yeah, read the title. Did you read the title and tell you what it is? What kind of examination?
It's a philosophical endeavor. There
Thank
is
you.
never a wrong and a right. From
Thank
the
you.
moment you say we are delving into philosophy,
Right.
there is no wrong, there's no right. There's only a discussion. So now you're trying to make a philosophical discussion into a
out there and
yeah.
Hold on. No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking about work. My fault. Go ahead.
So they try to make a philosophical discussion into a hard conclusion. And while he's reading, there is no conclusion being reached by the philosophers themselves. Perhaps, maybe we should consider, like, yeah, Reggie, that's all part of the process. They can think of what they want. But the epistemic rupture happened when it happened. You can't get around that. If you want to change up the nomenclature, go right ahead. But what we are talking about is still a factual reality. We have one tool that is applicable universally to come to an understanding of reality. It's a tool that provides predictive models that simply work. What more do you want to argue about? What is this argument? I don't get it. What is it? You stick your neck far enough out that you can't.
How you don't get it? How you don't get it? You fighting for African sons, bro.
Africans are fighting to go to the moon.
All right, let's
Africans are fighting for universities in their countries. No more damn mosques, no more churches. We want universities. But Reggie is fighting for what? What is
they got a whole program, It's called the Einstein program. That's the African.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, the Einstein program in Africa. They producing Einstein.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
While we trying to run the African tradition, they trying to run away from it. They trying to get on par, because you ain't gonna get to the moon with African science. You ain't gonna get to the moon with Chinese science. So you're gonna be stuck right there on Earth.
Looking with the matchsticks open in your eyes like the Dogons, right? Come on, get out of here.
And you stupid. You know what was funny? When he said, yeah, it ain't up to par. I was like, there you go. There you go. That's worse. See, he said it ain't even up to par. I didn't put the two together. I didn't do them like that. The article did, bro. He said both brands of African science ain't up to par.
Yeah, but it simply is. Like, the only way to deal with reality is to confront it head on, right?
Yeah.
Nobody is going to separate themselves from their indigenous traditional practices. We here in the West, we're cultural Christians.
Yeah.
No matter how much of a staunch atheist we are, with their certain norms and values that we have, right? We respect burial.
We'll go to church. We'll go to church with our family.
Exactly. So why do you
say grace? Look, say grace at the table.
Yeah.
Although I always crack a joke. Do I say well?
But that's just like David Hume, right? He fell in the puddle, and the lady being cheeky with the public atheist, right? Oh, you want some help? Recite the Lord's Creed and the Apostles' Prayer. He does both. It doesn't take nothing off of him, bro. He got out of that puddle, though. Do you think he's gonna be there? No, I'm a staunch atheist. I'll stay here then because of a mythological thing. He just recites the poem, bro. He recites it. He gets help. She feels good. He's out of the puddle. Everybody good.
Well, that's funny, yo.
Yeah, that's just a pragmatic approach to reality.
Get ready. Put himself out there today, boy. He went hard. He actually read that article again. Then the Nuwapian come on there, yo. He got to stop. The Nuwapian got to stop, yo.
He's a Nuwapian.
Harem, yeah, Harem. No, that might not have been Harem today.
The Harwin. Oh yeah,
Harwin. No. Yeah, Harwin is the Nuwapian.
Yeah, Harwin. Oh my God.
Yeah, I can't even debate him. He gotta get off that.
Yeah.
Like I ain't never debated you. Get off that, bro.
I'm not even.
I ain't playing with that.
That's when my Sosa kicks in. Right.
Yeah,
You
I
can
ain't
have
doing
that,
that.
bro. You can have
Yeah,
that
I
one.
ain't had that, bro.
Oh man. But yeah, y'all stay tuned. The lab Saturday evening is gonna be fun, boy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Clinical dissection.
The thing is not
Postmortem.
really understand. Well, y'all already said it. But you
Huh?
can't read.
And you can't read.
You already said it. How
Yeah.
Huh?
you gonna read it? This
Yep,
thing
I'm gonna
is
show you.
saying that
You ready?
it's all religious. It's all mystical. It's all based on worldview, bro. It's not based on empiricism. So how can it be science?
That was my whole point, bro. That was my whole point. We're talking about empiricism and you are talking about indigenous tradition. Reggie, why are you conflating the conversation? When you present it like this, right, African science, you're making a one-on-one equation and they're fundamentally different, right? That was the whole point of the article. He is using African science in quote unquote quotations. He further divides it into two subgroups: the fully traditional and the semi-modern traditional. This one uses a cell phone maybe to contact you. You know what I mean? There are certain aspects that are not traditional within the practice. Yeah, they might use a particular route in the traditional sense, but this dude, he sends you to the supermarket to buy a bottle of X because it represents the same thing. Yeah, like holy oil, what y'all supposed to use as Christians, right? You're supposed to squeeze it out of the olives. No, y'all go to the supermarket and buy a bottle of Goya, pray over it, and now all of a sudden the oil is magic. Same thing. Y'all do the same thing right now.
Yeah. Good example. Good example.
Yeah, yeah, man, wild. I'm sitting there listening to this man come lie straight out of his face. Reggie, what was the intent that I brought up that article again?
You know
To
how people
prove that
say,
there's no African science, bro? No, to put things in its proper context, Reggie. We were having a conversation, and obviously, I realized that your definitional paradigm was confused. So all I wanted to do was have that conversation. Now you lying, plain out. Like why?
you know, like they say, Cedric, you know how you make holy water?
No, go ahead.
Boil the hell out of it.
Ah! Oh boy.
Oh, man. These guys, man, I tell you, bro,
No man.
they're
For all the
hilarious.
believers and for all the believers in the chat, you know, I'm working on a production for somewhere on Sunday where we could have some discussions in a Sunday school set. No, I'm working on a formula. And we give y'all an opportunity to try and convince me otherwise. Right? Y'all saw the presentation today. Y'all saw the presentation yesterday. I am within the triangle of those of those metrics. Do your best. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Oh man, but this is hilarious. This is wild. Like I, And Reggie is a problem, though. It is really a problem in the community when you hear brass echoing the things Reggie's saying. Well, those prefixes is there for a reason, Uncle. You know, it's modern. Without modern, you have science. And if you take off science, you have ancient science, and there's a linear progression. So more information, more data is going to ultimately lead to science. No, no, no. Needham problem. The Needham problem. The Needham problem, why China not philosophical framework doesn't need to change. If it is stable, you are just adding more data that is going to be explained within that philosophical framework. Your cultural dimensions did not shift. There is no significant interaction with other cultures to the point that it shifts your paradigm. It takes world travel. It takes the discovery of the wider world. You leave with a map that has 3 continents on it, and you boat up and you encounter a whole new world. You know that why new world? Because it didn't exist. It did not exist. Imagine it was there, but it didn't exist. It wasn't in the books. Y'all, I've been trying to frame the mindset over those 200-year period. Y'all need to go there with me. Put yourself in that frame of mind. 1493, Adam and Eve is the standard quo. Adam named all the animals. The 3 continents, the biblical world is all that exists. That is reality right there. These people going on that boat were scared shitless. They thought, hey, 2 things can happen. We're going to either fall off the edge of the world or we're going to end up in India. There was no other side of the world, for men would have been walking on their heads. That is the reality you're dealing with in this time frame. You need to put your mind in that particular time and space to really understand the ignorance the world was in, not a particular person or people. The world was in. The world was in a state of ignorance. JJ, I'm gonna put you on the big screen, bro. Anytime you hear, you get the big screen. There you go. What it do? What it do?
Peace, my
Come
brother.
on, mute. What's good? What's good?
I'm just trying to understand what's going on here today. I see you got some the white dude, the white wigs on, nails painted, ruffled feathers. I mean, what the hell's going on, man? I'm glad this ain't Black History Month. I don't know what you're doing here, Cedric. Can you explain to me in 30 seconds what is the point of showing Ben Franklin and George Washington and these goddamn characters? Go ahead. You got the
First of all, those weren't Benjamin. That wasn't Benjamin Franklin. No, 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 no Ben Carter or anything. Those were the French philosophers
Oh, okay, go ahead.
who established materialism.
Yeah.
Right? And these are the pillars that we call modern science. What modern science is a way of thinking. So now I'm showing the fact that it is philosophers that formed and established what modern science is. So when we try to equate these philosophers with scientists, it's completely disingenuous, right?
Yeah.
Mettrie was a surgeon, right? And being a surgeon, he understood and was put in a situation where he understood that the mind is a direct product of the body, right? Which allowed for human beings to become a specimen of science themselves. These men were not attempting to solidify or establish science. They were fighting the state. They were in opposition to the French state, right? Marie Antoinette and the guillotine was chopping people's heads off at this time.
Right.
And the church was oppressing people. And these dudes came up and say there's no soul and humans just a biological machine. Get out of here.
Come on. All right. So you kind of believe that we don't have no soul, no spirit.
There is no belief required. We can go through the
You can prove that?
We could go through the exercise of methodological naturalism, and you would have to establish that claim. Is there any
From a
evidence?
scientific perspective.
Is there any
Hey,
evidence?
what's up, Monk? I ain't seen you on here, bro.
What's going
Is
on,
there
brother?
any
How you doing,
evidence?
man?
Can we measure it? Can we test it? No. Is it a product of the mind? Yes. Is the mind reliable? No. Is those assertions arbitrary? Yes.
Yeah.
So by the metrics of methodological naturalism, we can easily exclude the supernatural from any engagement with reality. It's simply a foundational understanding. Any claim you make about the supernatural is arbitrary assertion. There is no way for you to establish that validity, neither by reason, neither by evidence.
So, yeah. See, I see a couple guys in the audience that they don't understand. See, when I bring out this high level information, maybe they'll catch on in a couple of years. He don't know that math is science. If they label it as science, it's science. They put the word behind it, anonymous. It's science. It's called formal science. It's material science. There's theological science. Do you understand that, sir?
Okay.
But go ahead, sir. I just got a little young fella in the audience. You know, he's a little misty guy. Go ahead.
When you say that, you're illustrating a good point, right?
Yeah.
If science, the art, the practice, if science, the methodology, excludes supernatural agencies, right? The system by which we investigate the reality, it
Right.
excludes supernatural. That is science. So if there's a theological science, the knowledge of gods and the supernatural, you
It's
can
science.
understand that science doesn't mean the same thing there. That is knowledge, right? Because there is no method, there is no system to investigate theology. Theology is purely a philosophical engagement. So if you
Philosophy.
say the philosophy of
Philosophy.
theology, the
Go ahead.
science of philosophy,
Take.
it's a mental engagement. It is a body of knowledge, quote unquote, that you have about theology, right? There's thousands of books, there's people who the historians. So yes, you can talk about the science of theology.
That's
It
right.
is the body of knowledge, right? We can talk
That's
about
right, sir.
Augustine. We can talk about the Genesis. That's all the information.
Yeah.
But
That's
it
all
is
I'm trying to say to the
but
young
it is
fella in the
not
audience.
but it is not science in terms of understanding the real world by means of methodological
There
naturalism.
you go. See now you getting good with it. Now we walking together. See, you was a little bit behind me. You know, now you catching up with old Uncle 7 times. You see that, Anonymous? There's different forms of science. There's about 50 or 60 different sciences that you can go look up, but they all got different meanings, and some do the methodological naturalism, some do different ways. So that's all I'm saying. But it's still science. Would you agree or disagree, sir?
Knowledge. Knowledge. It is all knowledge. There
Hey,
is no culture, there's no time in history that human beings have not engaged in acquiring knowledge. It's the only way to be able to interact with your environment is an understanding of it. Cause and effect, right? Survival.
right,
So that's a body of knowledge that is required to move to the next level, right? Imagine every 50 years we had to discover which herbs we could eat, which plants were edible. If we
right.
had to do that every 50 years, we would still be in small groups of hunter gatherers.
Mm.
It is
There'll
our
be no
ability,
progression. Yeah.
it is our ability to maintain that knowledge, empiricism, the ability to transfer that knowledge systematically is how we were able to build societies. If you look at the development of the first clocks and calendars, it took people hundreds of years of, of reading the sky. That is a disciplined, structured activity. But JJ, you wouldn't put an multiplier on your wrist anymore. You would just simply get a nice watch because that endeavor that was done there, we cannot equate to that anymore. But without that work, without the hundreds of years of systematic mapping of the night sky, you know I have that watch on our hands today.
Right, right,
So,
right. I'm with you. I'm with you.
so, so, so,
Now, you can't be mentioning that supply without mentioning disingenuous con man. 'Cause he taught everybody about that supply. You know that, right? You gonna give him credit today or not?
Give him
listen,
credit for what? Give him credit.
if it wasn't for indigenous black
Disingenuous
people,
con man. I know
if
you
it
peeking
wasn't
around the
for
bushes.
if it
Not
wasn't for
apply.
IBM, I would have never been able to be born. I mean,
Yeah, we
Hey,
appreciate him.
hey, check it
Appreciate
out.
his work.
The 10
Tireless work.
Commandments was really the 12 Commandments that Moses stole from disingenuous con man. You see, I'm gonna give you credit, man.
Yeah,
Shit.
that's good. That's
Indigenous black
good.
man.
Easy.
Well, you know he peeking around.
The most intriguing man in the world. Dun, dun,
Right.
dun, dun. He created the 10 Commandments. Dun,
You
dun,
never
dun,
seen him.
dun. He created Aristotle philosophy. Dun, 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 dun. He created how to measure the earth. Dun, dun,
Right,
dun.
man.
Yeah, ain't nothing he didn't do, yo.
Boy, this
he
is
he
just
thought
a
But
he
get a
thought
man.
computer. He did all that
Yeah,
before to get a
He
there's
thought
computer.
something he didn't
Imhotep
do.
to design the pyramids.
What he
There's
didn't
one
do,
thing he didn't do.
Samuel? What he didn't do?
One, hey, Savior, let's get in. There's one thing he
Oh,
didn't
most up,
do.
get it.
What's up? He didn't get a good phone so he could jump on the panel.
Oh man, I don't understand it. Well, he can't say he created StreamYard because he don't even know how to use it. So that's one thing he didn't do. That's
Listen,
right.
this man taught Imhotep to design a pyramid. What you talking about?
Right, man. Hey, he was the first one to bite the apple. It wasn't Eve. It was him.
Absolutely him. It was definitely him. We know it was him because we measured his teeth marks. He did everything but buy a computer to get online.
He said, "Measure teeth marks." Whoa, we like you, disingenuous.
But he got knocked it. Oh, he delusional, yo. He
Yeah,
got
man, everybody in trouble. Hey, He putting cases on all you Negroes.
I
Okay?
told Unc about I was like, what, yo? I talked to him one time before, yo. It was about that day. He messed up the whole article. Nubian, it was, I forget the hell the name of it. Oh, it was Nubian something that they found in Arabia. It was a Tulis image, right?
Yeah.
And he messed up. I say, bro, it was simply saying they wasn't saying Nubians was there, bro. That's 135,000 years ago. It was basically saying that the tools was tools that they found in Nubia, and that same type of tool assemblage ended up in Arabia. So I said, so humans migrated there. You tripping, bro?
Right.
What you mean to tell me the whole time, the only time you encountered this man was to teach him something?
Yeah. I mean, he swear he told me, man, you ain't. Yeah, I've been listen, bro. This is just a comeback around for me, yo. That everybody talking about. I've been talking about 160, 100. That's why I can go right to articles and say, nah, they say lunar calendar right here. So I trump them in anything they talking about as far as indigenous people all the time, yo. That's why I know indigenous people would end up getting to the stage of proto-science, right? But proto-science is still not science. It's proto-science. It's the precursor. It's the before, right? Which is the level. They're still going to take them up a couple thousand years before they get to, finding all the continents. I already did all that. Yeah, finding all that stuff. It's going to take a minute. And that's okay though, bro. It ain't sticking.
So Elder Unc, when is you and your team gonna go against the carnivore board?
Elder Unc. Oh,
yeah, he older than me. He older than me. I'm 54. You gotta be like 56 at least.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You got me right. Yep.
When you're 50, you become an elder.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You didn't know that? At least in the Hebrew way.
They need to refix it. The elder mean you lost your mind in this community.
Hey, like Holy Ghost, what the hell going on over there? We ain't gonna talk about Holy Ghost. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he out the game.
The house of Kunda Budalini. I don't know what's going on. You got to get rid of that one. Yeah, he making the religious guys look bad, man.
Oh,
but anyway,
I lost my jacket. Yeah, you funny.
Apostle look. Apostle was pissed. You hear me? Man, he can't be no Holy Ghost doing them type of acts. But anyway, man, I'm just peeking around, man. I just got off work, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, show nothing but love, family. Peace and blessings.
Hey, look, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna sit you down one day and show you how it really works with the whole science thing. You're gonna get it, yo.
All right, yeah.
You really get my point, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you something simple. I'm gonna give you something simple.
Hold on, before I go, hold on. I found a library. Listen, trouble. Hey,
JJ got some books, bro. JJ got some books. He's gonna be doing some reading. He got some good books. JJ's gonna be doing
some good ones. You see them, said?
Yeah, I saw them.
Look, I didn't even know the library was that damn close. And oh shit, I accidentally bumped into it, made a wrong turn. I didn't see one Negro in there. Damn, man. I felt out of place.
JJ got 6 science books, 2 history books, 2 general science books. JJ getting ready for y'all. JJ getting ready,
man. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, you go back and teaching, man. You know, if I'm trolling you a little bit, it's because I love you, brother.
I know, JJ. You know how we do. Whatever we do up on this YouTube street, I know how we do.
Yeah, you're gonna end up going this way.
But yeah, okay. So what's the assignment? What was the assignment, brother? What you say? You turn the lights off. What was the assignment you said you was gonna give me? What
I'm gonna show you why the word, when scholars say science, right? They are applying it generally to just knowledge, because that's the word we use today, right?
That's right.
Now, when the debate was always on a particular thing, right? Right? And the particular thing is science, which is really a modern thing. Right now, when you hear it's a modern thing, based off the fact that we live in the modern world, science is like high level, right? It's the top notch thing. Right. But in reality, it's just the way modern people collect their data and knowledge. It's a specific way of doing it. No God, no deity, methodological, naturalism, all that stuff, right? No gods in your deity. But the ancient people, they just didn't see it that way. That's okay, but that didn't stop them from building pyramids. It didn't stop them from being great and renowned. It didn't stop them.
They stopped from using math and things of
That's
that
right,
nature.
correct. They found math. They the first to discover math and everything we talk about, bro. But what end up happening is that in modern times, they was able to travel around and gather data from all these places
That's a
and
fact.
organize it into what would become science. Does that make sense to you, bro?
Yeah, I get that. So look, how about this? In 200 years, this gonna be some outdated stuff we got going on.
No. No. See,
What?
this is different. No, you're
See,
gonna always
AI, all that's
no,
taking over.
no.
Go
Catch
ahead.
what I'm saying. Catch what I'm
All
saying.
right, go ahead.
So now we have found a system of making the phenomenon the authority. You get it? So you would never change that system. You might add some parts to it. At the end of the day, the phenomenon is the way to understand nature, the
Yeah,
natural causes. You get that? So we might discover more things and be doing some other stuff, but it's still gonna be the
still
phenomenon.
gonna
It's
be
still gonna be
modern.
the authority. It's gonna be the
So,
authority,
so what about paranormal activity?
right? So
Where
maybe
would
we
we
might
label
just
that? Where would we put that
spookism.
at? Come on, man. Let me just say this.
Spookism.
You ain't never been. You
Arbitrary
ain't never been.
assertion,
Go ahead, Cedric.
All right, yo.
arbitrary assertion,
Now I want to
anecdotal
say this. I just said,
Appreciate you.
and metaphysical. So there is no way to substantiate those things. So I can't tell you it's not true. I can only tell you we can't prove that by means of science. So there is
yeah,
no way
because
to
if
substantiate.
there's a lot of people who experience it how you say it? Paralysis. I can't even say it
Mhm,
right. Where you
mhm.
stuck in the bed, you
Yeah,
can't move, and you feel
yeah,
something. I experienced that. I know some of y'all
yeah.
have too.
Sleep
What do you
paralysis.
call that? Just
Sleep
dreaming,
paralysis.
Oh yeah.
Sleep
sleep
paralysis.
paralysis.
Right, but you have to realize if you go back and watch this episode from the beginning, it's gonna make it a little bit more clear, especially about things like this. There's a direct correlation to your brain and
Mm-hmm.
your physical being, right? If
Yeah.
you affect the brain, you affect the personality. That's why when you get drunk, for example, you have an altered state of reality. How Mettrie found this out, as a scientist, he was as a surgeon, he was in the middle of the Austrian War. He got dysentery, he got fever. And
Uh-huh.
while his temperature was going up, he
Uh-huh.
realized that he was getting delusional,
Right.
right? He was incoherent.
Psychosis.
Yes. And as the fever reduced, he started to come back to his senses. And he made the connection there. Wait a minute. If a fever can alter my personality,
Mm-hmm.
then my personality, this so called soul, what we
Go
talk
ahead,
about,
teach.
is a biological process. It is,
Mm.
it is,
Okay,
it is,
okay. No,
it is
drop some knowledge, said.
it is an
Yeah.
emergent property of biological processes, right? Because if a fever could make me see the world completely different, utterly talk nonsense, then who I am, how I perceive the world, is actually a physical property of my brain. You get that?
I get that part, Cedric, but today it happened to
Mhm.
me, man. I had rest all week, so so we can't even use that one for me. Now,
Yeah,
when people do drugs and alcohol, so it's just like it's a big drug problem here, and they don't sleep for days and days and days. They get psychosis. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
They start hearing voices because their body and mind is tired. You see what I'm
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
saying?
There you go. That
Yeah.
same thing. If the door bangs right now, I'm having a conversation with you. I know there's no element in my environment for me to be scared, right? I'm safe where I am. But if that door bangs right now, I am going to
You still
jump
jump.
the same way as if there was a murderer behind the door. That's agency, bro. The door didn't just bang for no reason. It banged because the boogeyman is out to get me.
You
That's
said
that.
you was the boogeyman in your song, nigga. I mean, nigga.
You see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Although I'm aware of it. You can be
Yeah.
cognizant of what is going on and still be subject to it. So I'm cognizant that it's my hyperactive detected device. Yet there is no way for you to turn that off. I am going to jump every single time,
Mm.
regardless.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna look into that. See if there is some kind of science behind that. Because
Yeah,
we never know. I mean, they got to be studying it, right?
yeah. I mean, we
Research. I
human
mean,
human
they not
beings.
call it science, but we gonna. I just want to see what kind of
Yeah.
conclude. Because you can't, like you say, you can't test it. You can't repeat it. But so it's got to be labeled something.
So neuroscience
As
is
neuroscience.
Neuroscience is the arena in which we investigate out of body experiences, near death experiences, sleep paralysis.
Oh,
These type of phenomena are all studied within the realm of neuroscience and
Neuroscience.
evolutionary psychology. These are the two subjects that deal with this phenomena. There
So
are in
would you say that's modern? Because the old timers back with the people you talking about with the wigs on and all that, them guys,
no,
they ain't know nothing about this. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So this is
they're
like a
not there yet.
new type of science. You see what I'm saying? This is
Neuro,
modern
Yeah,
neuroscience.
neuroscience is built on the philosophy that a human is a biological specimen. But
Gotcha.
over the years, of course, it is super difficult to, without modern technology, to actually
Right.
investigate the brain. So now we can do brain imaging, brain mapping. We can actually
Yeah.
do experiments, right? So we
Right.
reach the conclusion, right, that determinism is an actual thing. My brain processes the decision a split second before
Uh-huh.
my consciousness is aware of it. So
Right.
so there's no way that you're going to change your mind or do something different, right? All action is deterministic, not predetermined, but deterministic. But we could not have investigated that 100 years ago. There was
Right.
no way for us to measure that brain signal or do that brain mapping 100 years ago, right? So
Right.
as technology improves, we are going to
Mhm.
understand these processes even better. The advent of the AI, it is modeled after our language modeling, right? So there's a direct correlation to how our
Algorithm.
brain works and
Algorithms.
how they programmed and model AI, right?
Right.
So we are starting to understand more and more of how our cognitive facility works, and this is where they're talking about the merge between man and machine. We're not going up.
Transhumanism. That was going to be my next thing I was going to bring up. So would that be like a science? That transhumanism, because you got to have computer
Transhuman
science.
is a philosophical discussion, right? So this is
Okay.
where you need to separate these things. These are nice philosophical ideas to discuss. We could
Mhm.
sit down and do a show about that when we
Yeah.
know we are engaging in the same exercise of philosophy. We are looking at the world today, and we are going through the exercise of
What up, man?
induction and deduction reasoning to map out what is possible for the future. But that is not a definite conversation. A lot of the time, people take these conversations and carry them way too far. For example, most of us have a seamless integration with AI already, right? You
Yeah.
see how we're using ChatGPT on these platforms and these type of things, how we're helping prepare presentations and stuff.
Right.
That,
Right.
that synergy is already there. If you look at how PowerPoints have been helping people design presentations, it is
Right.
already an aspect of our integration.
Uh huh.
Is that merging of man and machine? You
It
know,
is.
so we
It
might
kind of
not.
is.
So we don't need to look at it in terms of cyborg, right? That we are physically becoming machines, but in terms of our relationship with AI and with these systems, right? They become an integrated part of people's reality, right?
Yeah.
You talk to your phone, you have feedback with your AI, your
Yeah.
AI starts to model the conversations based on your speech patterns. So
Right.
our ability to map the brain by means of neuroscience is producing the type of technology we're seeing today, which could lead to some of the whole concept of a transhumanism. But it's not that we are going to merge into machines, or
What
your spirit gonna go into a computer or anything like that.
what
That's
said? You know they thinking about they thinking about putting chips in your head. You know what I'm saying, to
I
make
had
you
a stroke.
smarter.
I had a stroke. If I could get a chip, right, that could bypass the synapses that were damaged and my left side be
Right.
completely whole again, I would be the first to take the damn surgery.
Right. Oh, I didn't know you had a stroke, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Okay.
Yeah. So there are aspects of it that, when you're in a certain position, you can see the benefits, right? Now,
Yeah.
if I'm completely physically optimal and you think about putting something in your head, and all of a sudden we go to the matrix, right? When you get the upload the stuff by sticking it in the back of your head. Now,
Mhm.
these type of things are very hard to do. your neuroplasticity. These things aren't defined, these things aren't set, right? So how you develop cognition, how you grow in understanding of any particular phenomena is not simply a thing of downloading the information. Right? It doesn't work that easy. There's no information actually stored in your brain. It's experiences that are triggered from multiple aspects of the brain. So these hard divisions that they used to use in the past, the frontal cortex and this and that and that,
Yeah.
there was much more holistic dynamic happening within the brain, right? The brain, all aspects of the brain are firing at different intensities based on what type of action you are executing. I'm
Yeah.
not so much so diverse in the brain. These are general concepts. I may be
Right.
wrong, but shout out to Chill. I saw him in the chat. There's a need for the brain show. The brain show.
So yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. But like I said, there's some kind of science behind transhumanism because you got computer science, so you got to have to put to get these chips and all that type of stuff. There's got to be some kind of science behind transhumanism. Now, I'm not saying methodological naturalism, but as I said, there's many different forms of science, as we all just discussed here: formal science, material science. I mean, it's a whole list. You can go look it up
And
for yourself.
yeah,
Physical
yeah,
science.
you're talking science, and I'm happy, bro. Hey, yeah,
I
as
mean,
long as
talking
you're talking
science.
science,
Talk,
as long as you're
I've been
talking
bothering
science, I'm
about
good.
science, evolution, and abiogenesis with y'all for years, man. This ain't nothing new for me. I just got a little bit colder with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But y'all make me go study. What I'm saying? Let me see these brothers lying. That type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But
And
it keep me sharp.
that's the whole idea, right? If we
Yeah,
stimulate the
yeah.
fire and the
Dopamine.
necessity to dive
Yeah,
into the information,
right.
it opens new worlds. Look at the books you're taking out of the library now
You seen them
without
books?
being intimidated. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah,
positive thing. It's a positive thing. That's why we
yeah,
do what we do. And we
yeah.
have fun. If we have fun battling every now and then, but it's
Yeah,
all
just
part
don't
of
get
it.
mad, bro. I don't get mad at you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
uh,
me. We go too far back for me to get mad at you.
right, right. But yeah, it ain't nothing but love, man. I support the channel, man. Peace and blessings.
Yeah,
I
I know
gotta,
you do,
I gotta
man.
go do some reading. You
All
hear
right.
me? All
Yeah,
right,
man.
peace and
Do that
blessings. Love
reading.
y'all.
Thank
Yep.
you so much, AJ.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Yes, Gideon. You got any last words? I'm getting ready to get up out of here, hitting the 2 hour mark. It was a great show. I'll be back tomorrow where we discuss Immanuel Kant and Karl Popper. Those are the two final pillars in what becomes methodological naturalism. The
Naturalism,
time
yeah,
and the
yeah.
space between them is significant, and it's important for you to see how long it took before we had a solidified system. Once this series is done, we are going to go in to explore the era of pseudoscience because, yes, although we have modern science, we always admit the truth. There was an era of pseudoscience before that falsification became a factuality. So there's more. There's more to come. The linear idea of science being a slow and steady progression is not true, and we're going to demonstrate that throughout the courses of the coming weeks. CED Talks ain't going nowhere. This is not a short term mission. It is a goal to promote and teach scientific literacy, the proper way of engaging with the data. I don't want to never tell you what to think, but we will always teach you how to think or help you understand how to process the information properly. Get in, you got flow.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate your job, Cedric. You've been doing a wonderful job, bro.
Thank you,
Wonderful
thank you,
job, bro.
thank
Yeah,
you, thank you.
man. I've been learning a lot. I've been actually realizing the difference between how people from a worldly view or from a religious background view things versus how scientists view things and people that advocate for science. It's
Hmm.
like two different levels of thinking, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Two complete
Yeah,
different
man.
modes of processing information, and that leads to the dichotomy with a C. There's a top down versus a bottom up. The top down is man's ego, the natural philosophers, the barbershop boys. They want the room to make things up. And when you become humble to the point that you understand that nature dictates, you don't have a problem with the bottom up understanding, right? That you are part
Right,
of
right.
learning process and not a part of the dictating process. And that's the humbling factor. That humbling factor is hard for a lot of people to deal with. That's why most people don't like to really study space, because it makes you feel infinitely small and
Yeah, insignificant. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
insignificant. You realize your insignificance as a human being. That's why a lot of people like, they intimidated by studying the heavens and the
The
space. Shout out to
cosmos.
space.
Yeah.
Shout out to Space H. Anthony. Tune in for the next episode of the Galaxy and Beyond. Right? Pseudo Killers, we working on programming. We want to give y'all a full menu, a place where you can come and get your intellect stimulated in the proper way, without the ad homs, without the lies, without the flim flam, just the honest truth and how things actually work in reality. I'm working on a Sunday show. I'm in the production phase now. It's going to be a place where we can have the type of religious conversations necessary around these philosophical parameters, right? So the same type of exercise. We are going to use methodological naturalism to investigate, understand the claims, right? Understand the claims we made in the community, right? With that, it's been another one, a good one, a fun one, right? We getting there. We are starting to solidify the pillars of what we call methodological naturalism. Once we are done with this exercise, all the rah and the confusion gonna be out of the way. People gonna really understand what's going on. I would appreciate that, JJ, but I don't have a cash app. Send it to the God Killer. That's part of the work we do. We get specialists, and we bring teachers in here. So any contribution to the channel is appreciated. You can send it to the cash app of the God Killer. We got some experts coming in. I really appreciate that. Anybody else who wants to send me a cash app for this work, send it to God Killer or Juju, and that will be appropriate, because that goes to the work we do here on the Pseudo Killers. Yeah, I appreciate those though. Yeah, send me some bananas. Yeah, you know me. West Side Gorilla, West Side Jungle Monkey, all day, every day. Oh, all right.
Yo, I was gonna say shout out to Gullo with the monkey business.
Yeah, shout out to Gullo with the monkey business. That
Yeah,
epic
bro.
episode series is coming up soon. He's working on it. Again, we try to bring you the highest quality productions, and when these guys do those type of production, it takes some work, and so look out for that in the near future. We are Old World Monkeys, aka Caterini. There's no way you can separate us out of your monophyly. And it doesn't mean that we come from the monkeys that are walking around today.
Yeah, the
It doesn't.
monkeys that are walking around today evolve like us too,
They
so you
just
gotta
evolve
understand
the
that.
same way that we do. They are the end result of a whole existence of evolution. All right. So don't get that confused. All right. Before I go, I'm gonna give y'all this one just one more time. We're gonna take our elbow this.
It must be a conspiracy. Nostalgia got him stuck in the past. Always reliving history. Ask Dr. Ben and Clark. Say their names, here's our spark. All one big fantasy. Smoke and mirrors, only confusion, no clarity. The nigga bro, no Quincy, Van Sertima, and Rashid. Now they teaching God energy, but that's another story. Reggie out here seeking glory. For him it's about his legacy. Highest to the movement ended prematurely. Reggie was denied his opportunity. He signed at the feet so surely. It was meant to be his destiny to the king of blackology. That's your ideology. tried to contest that affected him emotionally. Reggie came loaded with more pseudo-foolery. Yet another battle he lost horribly. Obviously, Reggie, you're not ready. Ideology got you looking stupid, silly. Squints in his eyes where he lies. If the look is ugly, you will never beat me. I've got no emotions, no ideology. That's the difference between you and me. Oh, and don't try that. You got a degree. The name dropping don't work on me. I ain't never been a victim of psychology. What's your ideology? Seems to be a question round here lately. Welcome to CED Talks, where we separate fact from fiction. Method of omit every time. This that CED talk, yeah, we said it straight. Cut through the noise, elevate the debate. No pseudo talk, no foggy claims. Just evidence-based when we build these frames. CED talks, yeah, clarity first. If it ain't got method, it probably won't work. From ancient knowledge to modern science, we draw that line, that clear define. They say the ancients had science. Hold up, pause. Knowledge ain't the same as methodological laws. Observation, yeah, but control tests rare. No predictive models, you gotta be fair. We respect the past, but we keep it exact. Precision matters when you deal with facts. Astronomy grew, astrology split. One stayed empirical, one lean myth. The shift came through naturalistic method. Just standing of eyes, that's how we embed it. Not culture bound, not tied to a place. It's a universal tool for the human race. This guy said talks, yeah, he said it straight. Cut through the noise, elevate the debate. No pseudo talk, no foggy claims. Just evidence based when we build these frames. CED talks, yeah, clarity first. If it ain't got method, it probably won't work. From ancient knowledge to modern science, we draw that line, that clear defiance. They blur definition, start moving the goalposts. Turn fried to a claim that don't hold close. Science ain't on, this a process refined. Independent of culture, space and time. You can't redefine it to fit identity. That's how you lose all epistemic integrity. We test every claim, we don't just believe. If it can't be verified, we don't receive. From early observers to labs today, it's rigor and doubt that paved the way. Not name dropping scholars to win a debate, but data and method that validate. So what's your ideology? That's cool to ask, but truth ain't decided by the loudest class. We question it all, no sacred ground. If it don't hold up, we break it down. This that CED talk, yeah, we live in direct. No fear in the facts, just intellectual respect. No more, no mirror, no fantasy, just truth, logic, and consistency.
Be back tomorrow, 4:30, same time, same place, for another episode of CED Talks. Kant and Papa. With that, we out.